Good morning and welcome back to Vet Nurse Rambling. Sorry if I sound a little bit bunged up today, I'm not feeling 100%, but I wanted to do a quick video today talking about once you've got your new puppy, what goes on and what you need to do. Obviously there's the famous slogan, a dog's for life, not just for Christmas. But unfortunately people still do get puppies around Christmas time. Not unfortunately, but people do still get them around Christmas time, so it's probably quite a good time to share some top tips, just so that we've kind of put it out there and anyone who does get a puppy around this time of year has something to help them. So in previous videos I've spoken about how to prepare for your new addition to the family. Puppy preparations is the name of that one. And I guess once you've got your puppy there's a lot else that you need to consider, but all of this does require a little bit of forethought. You need to plan it in advance rather than wait until your new addition's here when all hell breaks loose and you're suddenly left with no spare time to organise anything. So, where to begin? Making sure that you are registered at a local vet is really important. You then can kind of get on top of vaccinations, worming and flea treatment, and the nurses there can give you advice on kind of socialisation, behaviour. They can talk to you about diets and nutrition. They can give you advice on neutering at a later date and just generally give you the support that you need to make sure that you feel confident and happy that you're doing right by your new little furry friend. So get registered at a suitable vet. Also enroll in some puppy training classes. A lot of people don't necessarily do this, and I think it's really, really important to do. It's not so much for kind of yourself, because I'm sure that a lot of people who have owned dogs before are more than capable of training a puppy to be a well-mannered and well-rounded adult dog, but it's more for the puppy to kind of socialise with other dogs, to get used to distractions and having to kind of draw their attention away from the distraction and focus on you. So it's a really good bonding exercise for you and your puppy, and also really helps from a socialisation aspect. So it's a good idea to get enrolled in those from a young age, just so that you've kind of got the ball rolling and your puppy's going to be well socialised from the get-go. So when we talk about socialisation, it's not just a case of getting your puppy used to other dogs and other people, but it also comes into habituation, which is getting them used to their surroundings and familiarising them with different sounds and noises and smells that they might have to encounter on a regular basis. You can get these really good charts that you can kind of tick off on, which basically give you examples of things that you should expose your puppy to from a young age. So for example, hair dryers, tumble dryers, washing machines, the Hoover, the radio, lots of noisy and potentially quite perturbing appliances which make weird noises, just to get them used to the sound so that they're not frightened of them. Obviously if you're getting a puppy at this time of year, in some ways it's quite beneficial because it's fireworks time, so you can get them used to fireworks and not make a big deal out of them and kind of have a phobia of them from the word go. So just kind of normalising your behaviour when the fireworks are going off, not kind of rushing to your puppy's aid if they kind of wince or it startles them, just trying to remain as normal as possible. Have the TV on in the background, draw the curtains, distract them with some toys, have some delicious treats out, and just make it a really positive experience. Positivity, I think, is going to be the most kind of important message in this video. Lots of positive reinforcement, lots of reward. We don't condone kind of punishment or negative enforcement anymore, so hitting your dog or anything like that, shouting at them, is not recommended. It's all about the positive, rewarding, reinforcing behaviours. So continuing on the theme of socialisation, when your puppy's old enough to start going out for walks, maybe taking them for lead walks along the side of the road so that they get used to the noise of the traffic. They see bicycles, they see lorries, they see people pushing pushchairs, they see wheelchair users. I think that a really good idea is taking your puppy to the train station at rush hour in the evening, because a lot of people are in a real hurry to get home and they don't want to stop and say hello. I did that with Rosie and it was really good for her to just have to sit next to me and learn to wait to be approached rather than just kind of being prepared for anyone and everyone to give her attention. So that's a really good idea. Also perhaps going near a school at school pickup time so they get used to the noise of squawking children. It's really important that dogs are happy with kids, because obviously we don't want there to ever be any issues with them later on in life, and obviously socialising them with other dogs as well. So getting them used to dogs of all different shapes and sizes, not just dogs but other animals, so cats, sheep, cows, horses, just making everything as normal as possible, rewarding them for kind of ignoring this strange looming being above them, and calling them away, practicing their recall and giving them a fuss when they come back to you and have more interest in you and the snacks that you've got than the other animals. Another thing that is generally recommended once you get your puppy is being fairly strict with the exercise they're allowed to have. Obviously, as their bones are growing, we don't want to over-exercise them and run the risk of accelerating joint problems that they might already be predisposed to. So a general rule is 5 minutes per month of age. So for example, if you've got a 4-month-old puppy, that's going to be 20 minutes of controlled exercise a day. You can split that up, so you could do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, and that doesn't include play in the house. So if you are playing with a tug toy or you're practicing retrieving in the house, that doesn't come into that allocation. That is literally for exercise where you are out on a walk like I am now, and your dog is running around kind of actively on a walk. It's really important that we are careful about this, because especially kind of giant or large breed dogs that are predisposed to joint problems, we don't want to exacerbate that. We don't want to make it kind of come on quicker than it needs to. So just being a little bit sensitive about that is really important. So with recall training, when your puppy's nice and young, definitely use their kind of vulnerability to your advantage. This is perhaps where I went a little bit wrong with Rosie, and in the future I would definitely pay more attention to this period of time. So essentially, because your puppy's young and small and a little bit frightened of the world, they do want to stay near you. So use that as an opportunity to teach them their name, to practice their recall, to do a bit of hide and seek, to get them to come back to you, and just generally kind of brush up on those recall kind of practices. Because they're smaller, they are more likely to want to come back to you. They're going to be less adventurous. They're going to potentially be less interested in other smells and other things around them. They're going to be more worried and anxious about where you are. So it's not nasty, because it's using it to your advantage and for their own good in the long run. So just kind of playing hide and seek, giving them a little toot on the whistle if you're going to be using a whistle, or just giving them a little whistle with your mouth, like a little sort of noise. Rosie comes to that, oh my god, it's a miracle. Good girl. And just practicing their name as well, that's really important too. So recall is a really important aspect of the training. If you are going to be going to puppy classes, I'm sure it's something that they'll touch upon, but that is definitely something that you need to work on day in, day out, just to make sure that you completely nail it on the head. Be warned, it may all go tits up, as they say, in a couple of months' time. With Rosie, she had immaculate recall until about 6 months, and she slowly started to become more and more confident, and we then had a very difficult year of her being completely defiant. So work on it, don't give up, persevere, and just keep practicing. As with so many kind of dog-related things, toilet training is something that everyone has an opinion on, and ultimately it's going to have to be your decision as to how you move forwards with it. With a puppy, it's really important to reward them and celebrate them going for a wee outside or a poo outside, and not punish them for doing it inside, because a lot of the time if they go for a wee in the kitchen, you come down 10 minutes later and discover the wee and then tell them off. They have absolutely no association as to what it is they're in trouble about. The wee is a thing of the past to them, and they may think that you're telling them off for, I don't know, playing with their toy or going in their crate or something. So it's no good telling them off. It doesn't do anyone any favours, and if anything it will delay that process of getting them outside and getting them toilet trained. I'm very much of the belief that puppy training pads are a bit of a waste of time. Sorry for anyone who is very pro that. I just think that it confuses the puppy, because ultimately you're telling them to not go to the toilet in the house and to go outside, but then you're giving them somewhere that they are allowed to go to the toilet in the house, and I think it's just a bit confusing. I think you're much better to take them out to the toilet every hour on the hour, take them out into the garden, let them have a sniff around, and if they do go to the toilet, give them so much praise, make it into a real party, lots of fuss, lots of attention, maybe some treats. And if you are going to be using a cue word, for Rosie we use pennies, for when she spends a penny, then use that, say it in a nice soft voice, lots and lots and lots as they're going to the toilet, and just give them lots of praise. Another really important element to think about when your puppy is young and growing is their diet. I touched on this in the puppy preparations video, but making sure that they have a diet that's specific to their life stage, so it's a puppy specific diet rather than an adult diet, as this is going to give them the minerals that they need to help with healthy joints and bones growing. And if you have got a larger breed puppy, so Labrador upwards, also think about getting them a large breed puppy, just because again this is going to be slightly more tailored to suit their joints and what they need as they're growing. Diet is really important throughout the dog's life, and there are so many out there that it can be a bit of a minefield. Obviously the price range is quite vast as well. There are some quite expensive ones, but you do get what you pay for, so it's important to do your research and to think carefully about what your monthly expenditure on dog food is going to be. Perhaps before your puppy is ready to start going out on walks, it would be a great idea to invest in a little puppy lead and collar, just to get them used to the sensation of wearing something around their neck. It is quite alien to them, and you want them to not be distracted by that when you start going out for walks. You want them to be comfortable wearing them. So perhaps just connect the lead onto them a couple of times a day, let it trail along behind them, just so that they get used. Sorry, there's a massive bird of prey sweeping around Rosie. Yeah, let the lead just trail behind them, just so they get used to the sensation of having something attached onto their collar. They'll probably scratch quite a lot. They'll probably sit down, have a good scratch, turn around and try and have a nibble of it. That's fine, get them used to it and just distract them with a toy or treat and give them lots of praise for wearing it happily, and then you'll hopefully be ready to take them out for a walk when the time permits. If you've got a dog with slightly longer fur that's going to require grooming at a later stage in life, this point is really important, but it's valuable for you to do with any puppy. Start fiddling with their ears and their feet and their mouths from a really young age to get them used to having them examined. This is perhaps slightly selfish, but when they come into the vets, if they've got a problem with any of these areas, for example an ear infection, if they've got a claw that needs cutting because it's got too long, or if they've got something stuck in their mouth, it's really valuable for us if we can have a look at them without having to knock them out. And it's just in the interest of the puppy as well, because as an adult dog we don't want them to be fearful of anything, particularly coming to the vets, so making them happy to have these things done is really, really important. If you have got, as I said, a longer coated dog, then it's probably a good idea to get them used to just having a little bit of a brush from a young age as well, as this is something that to continue doing throughout their life. Some groomers would be happy for you to go in just for a kind of mock groom, just so that the puppy gets used to the environment and the smells and the noises, and not necessarily having anything done, but just build their confidence up before they actually go in and have a groom. So I hope that you found today's video useful and interesting, just going over a couple of tips and tricks of what to do once you've got your new addition back home with you and moving forwards as well. I can safely say, hand on my heart, that having a dog is the most life-changing thing. It sounds really cliche and a bit sad, but honestly it's just the best thing ever. Dogs are never annoyed at you, they never hold grudges, they're always so happy to see you, and they just give you unconditional love, which is really, really special. So to have a dog in your life is definitely a privilege, and if you are watching this because you've just got a new puppy, the best is yet to come, and enjoy every second of it. If you've got any comments or queries about today's video, then please just drop a comment below or send me a quick email and I'll be happy to respond. And watch this space for more videos soon. Thank you for being patient with my slightly snivelly face and voice today. Not feeling 100%, but hopefully by next week I'll be feeling tip-top again. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.